Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to another Market Movers. It is the end of March. It is March 31st, 2021. And before we jump in here today, I wanted to remind people to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you're new to the channel or if you've been watching but haven't been subscribed yet. Okay, let's start this list off with number 1 on the list, Grave Pact. This is the Commander Anthology Volume 2 version. This is up 5% from 24.21 to 25.42. And it does see a ton of play in Commander, and more recently a Tergrid God of Fright deck. Okay, next up is Breeding Pool from Ravnica Legions. This is up 5.07% from $21.70 to $22.80. Now, this card does see a lot of play in a variety of formats, but most recently in Historic and Commander, where Historic it actually shines a lot in Sultai control decks. Next up is Arid Mesa from Secret Lair series. So this is the one that you can get from the box edition, or you can get it as a free promo if you ordered a whole set from the summer drop. This is up 5.07% from $37.48 to $39.38, and it's still actually cheaper than the original Zendikar, which is the $41.33 on the market, which is a surprise. Sword of Truth and Justice from Modern Horizons. This is up 5.10% from $20.99 to $22.06 on the market. And it was released in Modern Horizons, but it doesn't mean it sees play in Modern. It sees most of its play actually in Commander. More recently, a Atraxa Praetor's Voice deck. Okay, next up on the list is Halfdane, our first card from Legends and first reserve list card on this list here today. This is at 5.99% from 58.57 to 62.08, and this card doesn't see a lot of play, but it is a Legends reserve list card, and for that reason it's on the list. Next up, we have Donate, another reserve list card from Urza's Destiny. This is up 6.71% from $21.01 to $22.42. But look at that foil price, $265. And it does see a lot of play, more recently in a Zerdru, the Great-Hearted in a Commander deck. Next up, Dancing Scimitar from Arabian Nights. This card is up 7.02% from $70.18 to $75.11. Now this does see a bit of play in one registered Commander deck, but if you want to actually throw it in a deck like that, there is a revised version with the same art for about around $1 on the market. Anointed Procession, this is from Amonkhet. This is up 7.86% today, seeing new all-time highs, and it was on our list yesterday as well. Of course, this is an absolute bomb in Commander, and it sees a ton of play in a variety of decks, and more recently in Alela Artful Provocateur deck. Next up, Omniscience from Core Set 2019. This card was originally printed in Magic Core Set 2013, but this version of the card is up 8.32% today from $18.27 to $19.79. Does see a bunch of play in Commander, and more recently a Golos Tireless Pilgrim deck. Okay, next up, Sliver Overlord. It wouldn't be a Market Movers if we didn't have at least one Sliver on the list, am I right? This is the Scourge version of the card, up 8.67% from $33 to $35.86, and this is actually the main Commander for Slivers, but you can actually get a cheaper version of this card from the Premium Deck series for about $27. Pearl Medallion from Tempest. This card is up 9.47% from $16.16 to $17.69, seeing new all-time highs yet again. This has been on our list quite a few times. This is used mostly in mono white Commander decks like Hylia the Sun Crowned. Next up, Kolaghan's Command from Dragons of Tarkir, one of the best rares from that set. This is up 18.6% from $8.03 to $9.48. Still not anywhere near its all-time highs, but it does see a lot of play, mostly in Modern Jund Death Shadow, but it also sees play in Pioneer decks, Rakdos, Pyromancer as well. Next up is Trixkillion from Antiquities. This is up 20.16% today from $113.14 to $135.95. Now this card has seen a variety of printings, but this is the original printing of the card, and it does see a lot of play, mostly in Commander, and its last registered deck was in a Heliod Suncrown deck. Next up is Camel from Arabian Nights. Now this is an Arabian Nights card, so there's not a lot of copies of this card on the market that are near mint, and for that reason today it's up on the list. It's up 23.48% from $5.41 to $6.68, seeing new all-time highs. There is one registered deck that does use it, an Aisha Tanaka deck, but that's not really the reason why it's going up today. Next up is our final card to talk about, Blood on the Snow. This is the promo pack version, which has the Wizards of the Coast stamp on the card. This was recently printed in Kaldheim. This is up 134% from $2.56 to $6, and it does see a lot of play, and more recently a Brawl Jorn God of Winter deck, but also it sees a lot of play in Historic as well. Okay, I wanted to talk about Onslaught fetches. Yes, the original fetches, before the Zendikar fetches and before all the reprints. Now, these are getting actually a lot of attention now in the market, and it's not a surprise. You know, Edwin the Magic Engineer actually talked about them briefly in a video on the Unhinged Magi channel. I don't think that's necessarily the reason why these are going up today, but he did briefly mention that these are undervalued in his opinion, and I actually concur. I think they are undervalued. I've talked about these fetches for a while now, saying, you know, if fetch lands are so hot, how come the older Onslaught cards were nowhere near their older price points? Which to me made no sense. They're a lot more scarce. You know, there's not a lot of near mint copies of these Onslaught fetch lands on the market. You know, people were always, you know, using these mostly just to build decks. So, you know, the prices that I see now, like $49.90 on the market, but it averages up to $150 because some people are asking so much for these cards. So they're listing them at a higher price point because people are starting to realize, you know, there's not a lot of these in near mint on the market. Onslaught, it's an old set. You know, a lot of boxes have been opened. A lot of these cards have been played. They've seen some wear. And now people are starting to realize, yes, you know, these are a lot more rare than people think they are. But again, look at Flooded Strand here. This is one of the cheaper ones. You can get it for about $47 to $78 on the market. And it's still nowhere near its all-time high. These were over $100. Every single one of these fetch lands before they got reprinted in Khans of Tarkir were over $100. So it still has some, I believe these cards still have some room to go up. So I don't know if you guys have a playset of them, but it might be good to get a playset of them now. If you could find them for cheaper than these market prices, I would jump on it pretty fast. This is the last one we're going to talk about, Bloodstained Mire from Onslaught. It's about $48 to $90 on the market. So if you can get it for under the market price, you know, either at an LGS or like to trade a friend or something, if you can find them, if you're lucky enough on eBay for cheaper than that, then I would say jump on it. The foil prices are obviously going through the roof as well, about $350 for the Onslaught Bloodstained Mire. Okay, final thoughts on the market. We are seeing a bit of reserve list cards, but our first card on the list is a card that sees play in Historic, Blood on the Snow, which is good to see because it is kind of tiresome to only spout out things about reserve list this, reserve list that, because we, at this point, know, I think, if you're watching my channel, we all know that reserve list cards, they're rare. They're not going to be reprinted again, so they're unique in that sense, and they're also scarce because there's just not a lot of copies of them on the market or just out there in general because they were printed so long ago, and a lot of people were playing cards without sleeves back then, so there's a lot of damage and wear on these cards, so finding them in near mint is just that much more rare. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do make these videos from Monday to Friday, and with that being said, please enjoy the rest of your day. Being a patron will help me produce more market movers and add to the funds that I will use for my random buys and also to my coffee fund because I drink a lot of coffee for these videos. And here you can see a link below in the description that will give you all the tiers and what you get in each tier. So I hope you guys click and think about joining. And with that, I'll see you next video. Think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.